Honestly, I think this is one of my favorite Christmas episodes I've seen in anime. I'm not sure if I would call it my favorite, because there is plenty of great Christmas-themed episodes, whether you want the more dramatic Toradora to the cute and comfy Slime Diaries, but honestly, I'm really happy with the endgame of Slime. I was saying it a couple weeks back how I really hope that they don't, rush into spring or anything like that. I'd really like to see a lot of winter-focused themes, and based on the preview, I assume we're getting a New Year's themed episode, which Christmas and New Year themed episodes, they almost always go hand in hand. And to rather than just end on the traditional Christmas themed episode, I appreciate it when we do get into that New Year's theme. This was, I think, a very cute episode that delivered in more ways than one. I mean, of course you're gonna have Geld, of course you're gonna have him with his child here being cute as shit. But I also appreciate the simpler things, we talk about a lot on the channel, especially in the comments. With everything that happened in part 1 of season 2, to get to see, the kids caroling and, singing their Christmas tunes and things like that, it just adds a lot more weight to what's happened and what might happen again going forward in the main series. So to watch just the basic things that probably many of us can relate to and recognize from growing up to just seeing in our day-to-day life when it is that Christmas season, it's just so damn good. From the whole idea of someone who came from a world where Santa was a thing, to now recognizing that because of the different beliefs and races and the fact that there's literally magic, would Santa even work? So instead of going the traditional sense of Santa going down the chimney, breaking into homes and things like that, he just kind of breaks it down to being we're gonna throw a party. And as the best boy dragon says, doesn't it feel like they're throwing a lot of parties in this show? And when you really think about it, there's been a shit ton of parties in the Slime Diaries, but I think that's what makes the Nation of Tempest such a easy to relate to nation, that despite looking at so much monsters and what would typically be the, oh, they're going to kill you, you get to see them the same way we would see each and every one of us growing up. And I think that's what makes the Slime Diaries so compelling, is that not only does it work on paper as a simple slice of life, anyone, whether they've seen the main series or not, could get a kick out of this show just because the characters are very easy to grow attached to. You don't need to know anything crazy about Geld's backstory to recognize that clearly two very different characters from two very different walks of life are now bonding in a way because of the great Rimuru, right? But to have that extra connection definitely does add a lot to it. I think the comedy was probably some of the more memorable without being that overly oh my god, you have to be busting out laughing. It was just a constant ride. It was like a roller coaster that wasn't going up and down. It was just this nice, calm roller coaster that was entertaining through and through. I especially love Milim and Hsieh in this episode. Milim just obviously being the storming intruder, please open the door quietly, breaks him down, to I think probably the best joke I've seen in the Slime Diaries from her. The whole idea of the way she can interpret things the way she wants. She hears what she wants to hear but doesn't hear what she doesn't want to hear. She sees what she wants and pretends to be sleeping. So when Rimuru's dropping off the present and she just unlocks true Demon Lord mode, how can you not just bust out laughing, especially considering that he literally gave her a gift that is so he doesn't have to constantly be pulled around, because basically Rimuru's a stress ball and he's very comfy to pull around and play with. So by giving her something like that, hopefully he gets to have a bit more freedom as he simultaneously has to rebuild her window. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we really looked in the budget for the Nation if Milim's probably half of the cost. Obviously, we've seen that early on in the Slime Diaries, but I feel much hasn't really changed. She probably costs most of their repairs just because she's an explosive force of personality. Hsieh was also a cute addition. Hsieh, anytime you have festivities, Hsieh's going to be the eye candy of a scene. And I like how rather than Rimuru being that typical protagonist, either, covering his eyes because he can't see that, or two, he's just very much, I feel, oblivious is probably the best way to put it. That harem protagonist, oblivious to what's going on around him. Rimuru recognizes, and I love how his, sideline remarks, hey, aren't you a little cold in that? And she just, completely brushes it aside. I love how every character really feels like they're getting chances. Even the dwarves to the blacksmith, things like that. Literally giving the most arguably Santa-like characters the Santa outfit. And seriously, even seeing the Dwarven King there in a Santa outfit, that shit was absolutely glorious. And I mean, in very Slime Diaries fashion, while sometimes it's not as easy to get across the beauty with nature as it was in, say, the spring season, looking at all the hyper-detailed crops and things like that, I think they did a great job, especially in this episode with his winter theme, because, of course, it's a lot more simple. It's just a lot of snow everywhere, but when you, like, light up the Christmas tree, or you see the festivities really going crazy, it's hard not to feel like it's still just as beautiful as it was when they were raising the crops and things like that. That's what I love about Slime Diaries. I mean, I still see people say, like, oh, I can't wait till Slime finally comes back and I can watch it again, basically saying that they haven't been watching Slime Diaries. But I was talking with my friend JC, and I mean, I was saying, like, hey, you know, he was interested in watching it, and I was like, honestly, watch, seriously, Slime Diaries. You need to watch Slime Diaries before you jump into Season 2, because I do agree, if you watch Season 1, watch the Slime Diaries, and then watch Season 2, you'll probably be even more impacted. I mean, I love the direction. I watched it in Part 1, Slime Diaries Part 2, but if you're going to watch it fresh, like, Slime Diaries adds so much to the Season 1 content, so that Season 2, when it hits you, you're going to be all the more connected and feel like there's been so much change, because, seriously, I mean, the one thing I really like about Slime is that when things have to change for the more negative, the more powerful, the more demonic, it does have a lasting impact, and that's probably why you can never have Season 2 Slime Diary style content, at least after the big moment in Part 1 of Season 2, because everything changes from then, right? And that's what's so great about it, is like, you've seen Christmas, you've seen New Year's themed episodes time and time again, you've seen 100 series, you definitely have seen at least a handful of them. But the way the Slime Diaries handles it is that no matter what the occasion is, it's always just a party of friends and family. And honestly, I would just argue family, because the way the Nation of Tempest works is that they're all connected no matter where they came from, no matter what walks of life they were. They're always connected to Rimuru, and that's why I like seeing Rimuru get a shit ton of presents. It's not that typical, oh, because he's the main character, everything's handed to him. Rimuru, like, legit earned his title, without a doubt. He literally earned the title of the Great Rimuru-sama, because, seriously, he's the one who brought all these monsters together, and has brokered peace as long as he did, and when peace doesn't last, I mean, he gets back at those bitches. That's the best way to put it. Great episode. I'm really excited to see what they do with seemingly a New Year's themed episodes. I imagine fireworks will be made, but honestly, from creating light bulbs, which was really cute, to just seeing the numerous funny antics, I mean, seeing Gabru argue about singing, like, how do you not just love that type of content, right? Great stuff, and it's going to be sad, but honestly great to see Slime Diaries go out. We've had fun, but, you know, we've rebuilt and kind of connected more with these characters. So when the Part 2 kicks off, we're going to have a whole different outlook, I think, on many of those smaller characters, with an even greater appreciation on the ones we've already loved due to Season 1 and Season 2. But let me know your thoughts and feelings on this week's Slime Diaries episode, your favorite moment, and what you hope to see with the final episode next week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you're happy new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.